I hardly get confused easily, although I can get over-emotional, eyes brimming with tears with sadness or with anger. I never cried and get confused easily. I'm just a player, and I was playing a game. I remembered reaching under my bed for my old game, Pokemon Yellow. It's been years since I picked it up. I traced it with my finger, shaping the cartridge, just like old times. I figure as much to restart it, since I accidentally restarted again years ago. The game was normal, as it could be, until I reached Brock. I remember being so frustrated, so furious that I couldn't beat him because he used rock types. Headphones on, taking a calm, deep breath. I went to face against him with my level 20 team of Pikachu, Butterfree, and Rattata. I couldn't train more because I was afraid they wouldn't listen to me. The fight started and he sent out his Geodude. I snorted, rolled my eyes, and called upon Ratty. Who can guess who it is? I can't exactly remember the attacks I used, but I cursed loudly for sure. Beating by the inch with Butterfree, he sent out Onix. In 3 moves, Butterfree was down. I was forced to call upon my last Pokemon, Pikachu. Suddenly the game turned pitch black. I yelled loudly, guessing that I ran out of battery. I gave out a couple breaths, sighing a relief that I saved before fighting Brock. Later, after switching the batteries, I turned it on, with the Nintendo and Game Freak logo passing by. I was usually impatient and skipped right towards the title screen, but I changed my mind this time. I'm not sure how I felt though. The animation of Pikachu getting closer and closer. When it was surfing or with balloons, it looked normal. But when it was on the running animation, its mouth was open and electricity was shooting in all directions. When it finally stopped, it looked like it was puffing, baring its fangs, suddenly leaping forward again. I cocked my head to the side, clueless in what it could mean. That wasn't important since I continued my game. I walked up again against that annoying Brock, but instead of the usual, I'm strong-willed, battle me, blah blah, saying, he said, again? Why? Come back when you're responsible. I blinked upon the saying, but my blood boiled up again. I accidentally pressed A again, and the dialogue was different this time. Fine, but please. The battle commenced before he finished his sentence. Sending out Geodude first, I rolled my eyes again, but noticed a detail. His Geodude was at level 8, like it was freshly caught. I didn't care at that time as I gave attack orders to Ratty. I gave out a joyous laugh as I finally defeated easily that pesky Geodude. I even did a little dance to celebrate. Brock sent out his Onix, causing me to smirk, seeing that it was also more low-level than usual. I commanded Ratty to use Tail Whip until he fainted, seeing that he was already tired from the other battle. On the inside, I started to panic a bit, since I was going to use Butterfree, but for good reasons. As the message that popped up against saying that my Pokemon fainted, immediately after that I used Butterfree, selecting Stun Spore as once she entered the battle. It was successful. Onix couldn't move, again with the attack menu. As I was about to select Tackle, I noticed a strange detail. I don't quite remember her learning Gust. I shrugged, moving forward. Butterfree used Gust. It was super effective. Onix fainted while I stood there blinking. I think Onix was also a ground type, but didn't Rock nullify the effects of a flying type move? Oh well, another battle won. I was wrong, was Brock's message of defeat. Was it me, or did his eyes open slightly? But I'm not going to give you the badge. Maybe I can after some courtesy. If I was drinking soda, I would already be choking at it. What the freaking hell? I just beat him fair and square, and he does this to me? I tried to move away, but the game wouldn't let me. Finally, I managed to turn to Pikachu. Pika! I jumped at the loud cry, more like a battle cry, and also from the facial expression. Ears back, mouth opened, baring fangs. Pikachu senses anger. I was then given 2 options, kill or flee. I still have morals, so I chose the option flee. The screen turned suddenly black, quickly reappearing, being at the Poke Center. The nurse said something of still trying and healed my Pokemon. I saved and switched off the game. I wish I hadn't. I skipped the intro, impatient as ever. The Pikachu on the main menu scared the hell out of me. Left ear tore off, the right one hanging with blood smeared on the mouth. I tried to take a deep, calming breath, but it wasn't helping my nerves. I appeared at the Poke Center, except it was different. Nurse Joy was missing her eyes, and the room was darker. We tried, but couldn't save him. Who wouldn't feel confused at this time? Tears started to well up in my eyes, as I thought she was talking about my Pokemon. Luckily, though, I checked my party and saw the exact opposite in what I was thinking, making me give out a huge sigh of relief. But what could have Nurse Joy mean? Investigating outside, a person was waiting for me. It came forward and pulled my character towards the Pewter's gym. Forcing also to enter, the NPC led me towards a pool? It was hard to tell, but it seemed to have a hint of red. The NPC looked back, turning out that it was Brock. I shouldn't have said those words. I couldn't have stopped in what you have become. I panicked a bit, as usual, and we entered the battle. Brock sent out a level 30 Graveler, making me send out my Ratty. I couldn't understand what level he was in, as it appeared as ampersand slash parentheses percentage ampersand. Started to command, making Ratty use Leer. Foe's defenses fell to the max. Geodude was too scared to move. I dismissed this, ordering to use Tackle. Geodude fainted dead away, Onyx popping out right away. I did the same strategy as before. Foe's defenses fell to the max. Onyx was too scared to move. This time I paid attention, feeling suddenly queasy on the inside. Using Tackle, Onyx fainted too. Instead of having Brock appear normally, it seemed like he was missing a huge chunk of his legs and arms. He didn't say anything, and I won a measly amount of Pokédollars. "Pika!" my Pikachu said again when I turned to him. The figure was smiling, but a creepy one at that. I was given the only option to kill. My efforts were in vain as I couldn't do anything else. The screen blinked and the pool of blood grew larger, and I heard in what I think was a scream. All of my Pokemon were out of their Pokeballs surrounding Brock. Ratty used Bite, Butterfree used Sleep Powder, Pikachu used Tear. At this point of the game, the main character turned to the screen and a text box appeared, like Yellow was going to say something. The box remained blank, and a low-pitched sound began to play. I was baffled. I could probably advance in the game, but I was too scared to continue, probably because of the possible gore that could appear in the future. I asked my brother about this, and he confessed that he lost my game and tried to replace with another. I forced him to play it now, to make him suffer for losing my dear treasure. I wonder how long he's going to last.